Hello my lovelies, and welcome back to Sondering Tarot. If you're new here, hi, hello, and a welcome. This is your timeless Halloween pick a card reading. As you can see, we have 3 piles on the table, so please choose whatever pile or piles you are most drawn to, either by the cards or the items on the cards. Now, the one on the far left is pile 1, and the item we have on this particular pile is our snake pin. Pile 2, we have the brass frog. And pile 3 on the far right, we have, if my camera will focus, please. There we go. I think that's about as focused as I'm gonna get. We have a healing stone, which is emerald and jasper with mica. Alright, I will give you a minute to select your pile. Hello pile 1, and welcome to your reading. You chose the pile on the far left with this lovely snake pin charm on top. We're going to go ahead and set this off to the side, and we're going to start with the card you actually chose, which is your current energy. We have Marjorie Tyrell, the Giver. This is your current energy. This is from the Women of Westeros Oracle, which all the decks I will be using are listed in the description box down below in case you are wondering. We're going to set this off to the side. Okay, I can already tell some things are going to be a little bit interesting in this pile, simply because we have the Giver. So when it comes to your energy and what you keep, what you give away, and why you are doing so is very important for you. You're probably, yes, the giver in the relationship, but at the same time, you might actually be easily taken advantage of. So we're going to see what else comes up in your reading as far as that surface energy I'm tapping into. The next card, which is from the Intuitive Trio Soul Expansion Focus deck. What are you focused on, or what do you need to focus on? Cleaning. Okay. So if we're busy giving to other areas of our life, certain things probably have fallen behind, whether that is literal housework, like it shows on this card, or, like I said, you might be experiencing people taking advantage of you, or your energy is all over the place. So cleaning up your act and getting your stuff together and making sure that you are not taken advantage of, where things are very well organized, tapped into. I mean, when we exchange energy, we pick up debris. We get energetic cords attached. And that's very easy with a giver, simply because if we have codependency issues, or we are not really clear on our boundaries, we can get more attachments than what we can handle at any one given time. And sometimes we need to clear that out. And this time of year, that is actually a good thing for us to do, is to cut cords, to sever ties. So that's actually kind of perfect. Next thing we're going to look at is also from the Soul Expansion, is the Empower deck. We're going to look at what empowers you, but also how to empower yourself. So we're going to see what they gave you. When you fully access your inner being, you will possess all the power of an infinite creator being. Your words have power beyond the finite understanding of your planetary mind. Have compassion towards others who may see the world through a different lens of experience. Okay. All right. That actually makes sense. The givers. I mentioned the exchange of energy. You give, but it's usually an equal exchange. It's usually a give and a take. And depending on how much you give and where you give to, can either help you or harm you. But at the same time, you are a co-creator. So when you do give your energy, it should be with purpose and in the right amount. So this is where it's big for you to be a giver in any given situation, whether that is your natural state of being or if it's just your turn to be the giver. You are co-creating. You are, yes, helping others, but also helping yourself. To do so intentionally helps empower you when you're in that position where most people would call you quote-unquote vulnerable, or as the lesser, less dominant, meeker person in any given relationship. Also, some people, because of this last card right here, some of you are very selective on who you give to. Now, being able to realize there's other people out there that differ from yourself is a good thing. Realizing that just because someone's different doesn't mean that they are any less important. It doesn't mean that they're any less deserving of any of your time or attention. So there's a little bit of discernment that needs to go on, especially when it comes to our selection of who we give to and when. You might actually have somebody that's being slightly overlooked, or may need a little bit more of your attention. And when I say attention, I don't necessarily mean all of your attention all the time. It may be just you needing to give them a kind word, or you needing to see from their perspective and understand that you have to speak to them in a certain way. So when you do give them attention, it is more properly received because they are different from you. Difference in communication style, for example. So that will put you in a stronger position if you can relate to that person. All right, I have to scrunch all these in because we do have a fair amount of cards. So the third portion of the Soul Expansion deck, we have healing. So this is what's healing or what needs to be healed for you. We have inadequacy, rejection, and projections. Okay, this makes perfect sense. As a giver, a lot of us fear rejection, so we keep on giving. We extend those boundaries. We become an open book. In other words, we constantly pour from our cup in the hopes that we are accepted. And a lot of that stems from inadequacy. And some of that is actually inside our heads as far as what is really going on. Our own preconceived notions of what it means to have relationships or attachments to people can sometimes be a little jaded. And if we've had somebody that's taken advantage of us, we have the tendency to shut down, and we don't want to give as easy. We don't want to be taken advantage of again. We don't want to be hurt again. So some of this goes a lot deeper for us. And sometimes we unfairly project that onto others, the next person that comes along, whether that is a friendship or a romance. So something to be aware of. Boundaries. Ooh, yeah, we were talking about boundaries. Yes, very much so. We're going to move on to our next deck, which is the Tea Leaf Oracle. So this is our blessings that are coming in. We have Cup. You should accept valid criticism. Dog barking. Advice from a friend. Dogs. Getting together with friends. Remember those boundaries with people? Dog. Protection from a powerful friend. Diamond. You'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. Desk. Pay attention to your work. Dark woman. Dealings or relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair. Dark man. Dealings or relationship with a man with dark complexion or hair. And dagger. Fears, worries, tense situations. Yeah. This ties into the whole healthy relationships versus relationships and boundaries being overstepped, or you over giving or not giving enough to where things are either healthy or toxic. And just because somebody says something, beware of being triggered of that inadequacy or rejection, or projecting more into what they say, that it causes an additional issue that maybe isn't true. Protection from a powerful friend. Yeah, there is somebody that's showing up here that's not healthy for you. And this might be a relationship that you need to sever. And that is actually what I was getting when it comes to cutting ties. And yes, it was probably this dark woman or this dark man. Okay, they're bringing me to the diamond card. You'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. Remember, you are a giver, and you yourself are a gift. So sometimes being selective is a really good thing. It's very healthy. But you also have to be able to identify the good people, the healthy people that are worth you as a gift. Okay. Now, when it comes to your outcome or your challenge, let's see what they gave you. Abundance. And that feels more like your outcome, abundance. Because when we fix our perspective, when we fix our healthy and toxic relationships, we unleash abundance. We prosper. Things become more fruitful. They become better for us. And we get to enjoy life more. It also becomes easier to give because we have more energy for ourselves and therefore more energy to give to others, rather than always giving and giving to the wrong people who take too much. Okay, they're actually bringing me back to the desk. Pay attention to your work. I have a feeling that some of this is the toxic people. The dark woman, the dark man is probably somebody in your workplace. Whether or not that is somebody who is overworking you or giving you more work to do. And boundaries and communication being what it is, that's what needs to change. And hopefully that will. Your outcome suggests, yes, it will. Okay, they're just reminding me, speak up a little bit more. So like if this is your boss at work, and the reason why you aren't fixing the communication, you aren't fixing the relationship, is because you fear you might get fired, or you might have some retaliation issues. So you get stuck feeling inadequate at work, knowing that you're being taken advantage of, or you are projecting or feeling like you're being taken advantage of. You might literally have to have that conversation, which, yes, fears, worries, tense situations might be rather difficult and uncomfortable for you, but go, hey, I know I've worked here for this many years and this is my usual job, and you gave me this. It's not a part of my job. Why is that? You know, did I do something wrong? Is this, you know, necessary? Is this now a part of my job? That kind of thing. Having a frank discussion and trying to figure things out of, okay, is your projections, is your perceptions the truth? Is it a punishment? Is it not? Or are things changing enough and you weren't aware of it? Who knows? Maybe you will find somebody who has overstepped, and that is actually the first real concrete way to sort it all out. And bringing me to the dog barking advice from a friend. And yeah, if you question it, the way things are going, find that one trusted person you know is a safe zone that never takes advantage of you. The one you trust completely. And go ahead, talk to them, be frank with them, and see how they see things. See if your perspective and theirs matches or not. All right, my lovelies, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. Hopefully you enjoyed your reading. If you did, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up. And if you are curious about any of the decks on the table, they are listed in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Hello, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. You chose the middle card at the beginning with this lovely brass frog token on top of it. We're going to set that off to the side, and we're going to start with your opening cards that you chose in the thumbnail. This is from the Women of Westeros Oracle. All the decks I'm using will be listed in the description box down below. This is your current energy. We have Alara Sand, the Rageful, Daenerys Targaryen, the Queen, Cersei Lannister, the Vengeance, and Catelyn Stark, the Mother. Okay. That is very interesting. We're going to stack them and leave them just like that, because we're going to have a whole bunch of other cards out here. Alright. So, either you're an authority figure in a situation, or you're a literal mother in this case. So you rule the household. And the things are very tough. Anxiety, stress, yes. We're a little overwhelmed. Things are not going well. I'm hearing frustration. And I'm also hearing sleepless nights, it sounds like. So, yeah. Okay. Well, we definitely get that. We're going to move right on. This is the Intuit Trio Soul Expansion Focus deck. So, this is what you're focused on or what you need to focus on. Travel. Okay. Well, that's a loaded one. Holiday season is coming up. A lot of us are getting ready to travel for things like Thanksgiving, Christmas, you know, New Year's. We got travels plans. However, for a majority of you, you might actually travel for work or need to travel for work. And that in itself is a headache, especially going into holiday season. Flights get delayed, they get pushed back, there's weather, there's, you know, so many aspects and things that can go wrong. That in itself is a walking nightmare or headache, depending on where you're going. So that I kind of get, especially if you are a parent. And I know these are all women in these cards. Please remember that it's about the energy. It's not about the gender. So even if you are a male watching this, that doesn't mean that it's only for females. It's all about the energy and not the gender. But as a single parent, or just one half of a parental unit, figuring out what to do with children while you might have to travel. It's a lot of juggling. Let's put it that way. It's a lot of juggling. You know, what's the airline's rules? If I have to take my kid, if I don't take my kid, where's the babysitter? Who are they staying with? How long am I going to be gone? Etc., etc. It's a big snowball thing, and it's a whole lot of suck. Okay, so you might be concentrating on that, or if you haven't already, apparently you need to. Now we're going to move on to the next portion of the Soul Expansion deck, which is Empower. So how do you empower yourself, or what do you need to do to empower yourself, is what I asked. Being honest is not always easy, but is empowering to speak your truth. No matter how hard you try to convince yourself otherwise, you are never alone. Okay, yeah, this is part of that anger, frustrating part I heard before. Check to be sure that the stories you tell yourself are at least helpful to you. Be willing to look in the proverbial mirror regularly and embrace the light and the dark. Take your power back by claiming full responsibility for your life. Okay, yeah, being a parent is stressful. Holiday season coming up is stressful, no matter what. I mean, yes, honesty is the best policy. How you think, how you feel, and letting people know that you're stressed out, you can't handle things, that you would really like some help, but reminding yourself that help is available. Yes, you are no longer alone. You are never alone, actually. But also realizing, yes, as you are a parent or somebody of authority where you either engage with children, perhaps you are a teacher, or somebody in charge, so a mother-like or parental-like figure. Perhaps you are just a boss, and it's coming up as the mother and the queen. So perhaps you treat your employees like family. So while you're busy spinning all the plates, you feel very much alone. And it could be great to remind yourself about the good things. I mean, acknowledge the bad things, yes, but also to remember what the good things are. They're good reminders, things to keep. And it does help keep the anxiety at bay, the frustration at bay, because when you hold on to the good moments, when the bad ones come up, it's usually not as painful. And there's always things that you can do. And you need to remind yourself that you are very much the person who creates their life, their reality. I mean, you have Daenerys Targaryen, the queen. You are in control. Take responsibility for your life. Yes. If you don't like something, change it. Speak up. Ask for help, you know. Remember that you do have a say. Very much so. Utilize that. It'll be amazing what happens. Okay, and for the third portion of this Soul Expansion deck, healing. So what are we healing, or what needs to be healed? We have intimidation and illusions. Yeah. Check to be sure the stories you tell yourself are at least helpful to you. We each have our own perspective on things, and sometimes they are not truly how things are. You also might have the illusion that you are alone, and that is never true. No one is ever alone. We all have our spirit teams. We all have our guides, our ancestors, our angels with us. We are never alone. There is always help available. I'm not saying it's always easy, but it is there. And when you are experiencing life, it's easy to get overwhelmed. Yeah, overwhelmed, frustration, anger, sleepless nights, yeah, intimidation. It may be a little daunting trying to keep everything running, everything going, to tackle it all. Okay. This is where I'm getting that anxiety and stress. Ooh, alrighty. Yeah, that's definitely something to work on. Now we're going to go to the tea leaf deck of what blessings are coming in for you. And they gave you quite a bit. We have rat, someone working against you behind your back. Ram, a stubborn, aggressive person. Rainbow, the most difficult part of a situation is over. Rabbit, too much concerned with sexual matters. Quill, get back to the basics. Lily, spiritual love. Ant, work, achievement, success. Hand, in need of help, assistance, and guidance. Hammock, taking a vacation, physically or mentally. Firecracker, excitement. Fire, strong emotion, passionate love or hate. Finger, warning you of a problem either now or in the near future. Feather, someone you know is undependable and insincere. Fan, romance, celebration, party. Fair woman, dealings or relationships with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. Fair man, dealings or relationship with a man with blonde, gray, or white hair. And they gave us November, which this is a Halloween reading, so the day after Halloween, of course, is the start of November. Okay. There's a lot here, but it does progress a little bit. Part of your frustration and anger might actually have to deal with, yes, a coworker. You might actually, when I saw the rat and the ram card come out, you might actually know exactly who this is. Male or female, doesn't matter. We have both genders showing up here. Not only is this might be somebody at work that is aiding your emotional state, your energy, but we do have romance here as well. So no big surprise that I get parental energy from this reading, because we do have the love added in. So whether this is a current partner or you've gotten divorced, or this is a past love, maybe you have kids with them and they're kind of jerking you around. But that seems to be very well in hand. This progresses enough that it does sort itself out, and you do have warning signs with the finger card here, warning you of a problem either now or in the future. And your travel plans actually could be also in November. We have the fan romance celebration party. We have the fair woman and fair man, November. This might be what you're gearing up towards. And like I said, this could be holiday with not only work, but family or friends. And we do have taking a vacation. So you might literally be planning the whole Thanksgiving dinner with family or friends, those of importance. Okay. Rabbit, too much concern with sexual matters. Lily, spiritual love. All right. Part of the frustration I'm getting on might actually be sexual frustration. You might be putting too much weight on that when spiritual love, your self-love, love of the universe itself and the role you play in it might be a better focus for you. And that might, because we get the get back to basics of, well, okay, when you don't have somebody else present or a relationship that is very healthy, very well balanced, you get back to the basics. You get back to yourself. You get back to self-love. You get back to the things that no one else has or can take from you. Okay, and the more I look at this, the more, yeah, you're going to get a heads up on probably somebody during travel. Like I said, holiday times, firecracker, excitement, fire, strong emotion, passionate, love or hate, and then we get warning of a problem. Someone you know is undependable and insincere. And then we have this celebration, fair man, fair woman, November. So whether that means you have a family member or perhaps an ex that you see at a gathering, things start to come to light. You have things that fall into place where you realize that that individual is not really going to aid you, that the illusion that you had on them actually is now falling away. You're starting to see them for who and what they truly are, as well as the situation. What are they capable of, or in this case, incapable of? Are they reliable? No, they're undependable. Are they on your side? Probably not if they're insincere. Is that somebody you want playing on your team? Probably not. So yeah, there's two different ways that plays out. Those for travel for work and those travel for family. So please take whichever one resonates the most. But remember to always remind yourself, regardless of what else is going on, you are never alone, even if it feels like at hand, in need of help, assistance, and guidance. This is where you definitely get back to basics and spiritual love, because your spirit team is always there for you. This is why you're never alone. This is also where you get that helping hand. They're always there to assist if you ask. Okay. And we're going to transition over to our last set of cards. This is your outcome or your challenge. We have power, faith, earth, and peace. Huh. Yeah. You could read this either way, as your outcome, or you could read this as your challenge. It works both ways. So take whichever portion resonates for you. But you are very capable. You are a very strong person, believe it or not. You are fully capable. You have the power and hopefully the fortitude and self-confidence that no matter what is going on in the earthly realm, whatever physicality is going on, whatever financially is going on, no matter who's around you in your energy, well, you are experiencing life on earth itself and everything that happens in the 3D world, that you're able to do so in peace and harmony, from a peaceful mindset, to be at ease and be okay, to not be so full of anxiety and frustration and struggling and thinking that you are always alone and no one is ever there for you, regardless of where you travel to or where you need to go. So we are either finding that and finally getting the peace, or that is what we are literally struggling with, is getting that footing. And it's all over your reading for that. Like I said, you can read that as the outcome or the challenge. It works both ways. All right, my lovelies, this is all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed it. If it does resonate, by all means, give me a thumbs up. And I hope to see you next time. Bye. Hello, pile 3. You chose the pile on the far right with this healing stone on top. So we're going to put that off to the side, and we're going to look at the cards you chose, which is your current energy. We have Aria Stark, the fighter. Alyssa Karstark, the reconciler. And Alicent Hightower, the friend. Okay. Well, rebel with a cause, but at the same time, peacemaker. Mom friend comes through. This feels like this is always, you're the person that somebody always wants in their corner. Because when hard, tough stuff happens, you're the one that people want to go to. Okay. Interesting energy. Alright. And all the decks I will be using are listed in the description box down below, just in case you're wondering. And then we have the Intuit Trio, Soul Expansion, Focus. I asked, what is your focus, or what do you need to focus on at this time? Technology. They gave you quite a bit of cards. Friendship. Teaching. Support. Study. Building. And career change. Yeah. A lot of you are, yes, using technology, not only to keep in contact with family, friends, to teach. You probably are actually going back to school. Wouldn't surprise me. Or you have friends or family that are in school. Or that you are maybe going back to school because you do need a career change, or you're wanting to switch jobs, and perhaps that extra bit of schooling or degree will actually get you there. That's why you're very much in tune with technology, trying to be in communication, getting stuff done, trying to remember lessons, trying to gather information, learning. You're very big on learning. So expanding your skill set. Okay, yeah. That's actually pretty good, because we all need to learn, and we should be learning something new every day. So it's that, you know, a very determined attitude. It actually ties into the Arya Stark, the fighter card. We will persist. Yes, we will endure. To heck with anybody that says differently. Alright, and then we are going to the second portion of this Soul Expansion deck, which is Empower. I asked, what empowers you? Or how do you need to empower yourself? Oops, and I had that right side up the first time. Every self-honoring boundary you set has the potential to heal the other person. Remember, we have the Reconciliar card right here. Mom friend, you are the peacemaker. You are kind of the go-between everyone else, and that seems to have multiple benefits. Remember, we have the healing stone. This is the token that you picked. This is emerald and jasper with mica. It's a healing stone. And this is a light and green stone. So this has physical healing, yes, but it also has spiritual healing properties to it. So you heal on multiple levels. And this is actually kind of, when it comes to you and your overall energy, this is what you do as a person in a group, as a person in a friendship, a friend setting, that is your function. All right, next card. Take a moment to consider the things you don't like about yourself with love and compassion. Be willing to stand alone. Those who are meant to stand with you will remain. Being grateful for life's experiences is one of the keys to attaining inner peace. Don't deprive yourself of simple pleasures in life in pursuit of your goals. Okay. We're going to stop right there because we have to point out a few things. Okay. We already covered the first card, but when you spend a lot of time helping others, when you are the healing influence in relationships, whether that is platonic, romantic, friendship, business, you're the quote-unquote mom friend, the caregiver, you have to also give that same consideration to yourself. And it's amazing what happens when you do that. And also, as much as everyone wants you to be on their side, and you can't always be, you can't always show up as they want you to. Sometimes you really do have to do things for yourself rather than for everyone else. Being a caregiver, yes, it's great to care for others, but at the same time, you have to do what's best for you. And sometimes that means you have to stand alone. Your true friends, those who are worth it, will acknowledge that you have a life too. And you got to have time out and moments for you to have that life, to own it. So if you have to check out for a bit and aren't in constant contact, that is fine, because they will be there waiting for you when you come back. Okay, don't deprive yourself of simple pleasures in the pursuit of your goals. So for those of us that are very much changing careers, we are going back to school, we are dealing with teaching, learning. Perhaps you are literally a teacher and you've changed jobs, so you are teaching others, hence the study. Things have changed. And just because you have that shift, you have all that going on, doesn't mean that you can't stop and enjoy your friendships. You can't, go out and have fun. You can't be business all the time or be Mr. or Mrs. Fix-It for everyone else. Sometimes you really have to check out by yourself and do what is best for you, even if that means having a timeout and having fun. Having a moment of play instead of being all work, all focus, all drive. It's great to be a rebel with a cause and to have the sheer determination you can take on the world, but you also have to have that downtime to honor yourself, to show yourself love, to remind yourself of the good things in life, especially if you are a healer. Because unless you are healed and you are good to go and you have a full cup, it's really hard to help others and to show them love, to pour from your cup if your cup is empty. So if you want to nurture others, if you want to help others, you also have to remember that you need to help yourself first. And sometimes, yes, you do have to step back in order to do that. Ooh. Yeah. By the way, my own energy is in this pile, so yeah, I'm right there with you. Okay. And the next portion of the soul expansion, the healing. I asked, what is being healed or what needs to be healed for you? And like I said, they gave us buku cards, so hopefully you can see some of these. We have balance. Yeah. All those spinning plates, all the things going around, and it only takes one thing to tip it. Like I said, you can't pour from an empty cup. It's great to be there for everyone else, but you have to make sure you are grounded and balanced yourself. Otherwise, it's all chaos. How can you be the mediator, the peacemaker, the caregiver, the mom friend, and still have your act together and have enough energy to have healthy boundaries and relationships with friends and family and coworkers and everything else if you are out of whack. Anxiety. Oh, yes. De-stress. Have that fun time. Inner child. Yeah, have fun. People forget that entertaining your inner child is part of the fun. It's there for a reason. Your inner child actually knows what fun is. The adult in you has forgotten. Self-image. Yeah, sometimes you get stuck in somebody else's trauma, somebody else's baggage, somebody else's healing, that you forget to honor your own boundaries and see yourself and do what is best for you. Betrayal. Fear. Burdens. Conformity. Okay. This is a big one. When you have a whole bunch of people with certain expectations of you, or you have self-imposed expectations of what you need to be, that's a lot to live up to. That's a lot of stress and anxiety that you are projecting, or other people are projecting. Society itself will project that on you. And of course, being a healer, you always have burdens. When you heal somebody else, that means, in a way, you are taking on their burdens for you. So, like I said, beware of your own cup. Prejudice. Perfectionism. Emptiness. Eating disorder. Risks. Martyr. Fear of change. Laziness. Habits. And manipulation. Okay. So some of this is going to apply to you and some of this won't. Simply because there's more than one group of pile 3. Let's take that. Please take what resonates, leave the rest, because as though we broke everyone in the collective down into 3 piles, there is subcategories. So not all of this last part is going to resonate with every single person that picked this pile. So, just as a warning. Okay. We left off right about here. Okay. Beware of the need to do it all. This is what we have to realize about ourselves. We can't all do it all. And yes, we can be very prejudiced and biased against ourselves when we have that. And if others are demanding that of you, that is unjust and that is unfair. And I already mentioned several different types. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you are a healer, if we are there constantly for everyone else and we leave no time for ourselves, no one is there for us, we are a hollow shell, and that does nothing for us. Now, some of us do have a few bad habits. We have habits card over here. We have laziness. Yes, we have martyr. But for those of you that are resonating with the eating disorder, some of this, yes, is an eating disorder. Some of it is actually because you are not eating properly. You are not taking care of your own health. You are not taking care of yourself properly. You're showing up for other people and you are dropping the ball on your own self-care. And yes, eating good, nutritious food 3 times a day, things like that, that is very much self-care. That is taking care of self, a necessity, a basic need. And that is not selfish for you to do that. And it actually puts your health at risk. That's why it follows with the risk card. Now, you may see that as you being sacrificial. You are self-sacrificing for the greater good by helping other people and, not being concerned with yourself. And that's not true. That is not true. If you're doing things that put yourself in jeopardy for the sake of others to the point where it starts to risk your life or become so unhealthy that you have a complete detriment of self, that is not appropriate. That is not good. That is toxic. That is unhealthy. That is abusing yourself to the point of sickness. Being a rebel with a cause is great, but you know, unless you are literally going off to war for a cause and end up dying, being the proverbial martyr and abusing yourself to the point of harm is not appropriate. That's not what we want to be when it comes to the word martyr. So there might be a little bit of an skewed perception when it comes to being in the middle, being the mediator, being the reconciler, being able to do this, that. It's part of this perfectionism as well. You still have to acknowledge the downtime. Okay, and some of you are literally set in your ways, the fear of change. You're so used to operating the way you are that to break free, to reinforce boundaries, to not conform to everyone else's expectations, to try and do something new, do things in different ways is uncomfortable. So that's very much something that we have to address. Okay. Laziness, we have to deal with this two different ways. Some of you are realizing it's okay for you to be lazy for a minute instead of having to be so productive and Johnny on the spot for everyone. That having a lazy moment and resting and relaxing and having downtime for yourself is a good thing, is great. Others of you, you have depression moments to where it shows itself as laziness, which is a coping of depression, because you don't realize how stressed out you are. You don't realize this anxiety has gotten to you to the point where your body and your brain and everything else is shutting down, trying to get you to rest and cope and resolve itself for the issue, but you're not actively doing something to resolve what caused the depression, the anxiety, the issue from the get-go. This is part of your self-healing. Beware of that sign. And yes, pay attention to your habits, because that is a very dead giveaway that maybe you need to step back and deal with your own healing versus somebody else's. And lastly, we have manipulation. Yeah, and I don't count this as manipulation. I'm getting guilt trip off this card. So, a sign of somebody who is toxic, whether this is a friend, family, or a coworker, somebody who guilt trips you into anything, seeing their side of the story, being the peacemaker. You know, that mom friend, they're taking a abuse out on you and guilt tripping you into doing something simply because, well, you'll take care of them, you'll do it, you always do it. You know, that is a sign of toxicity. That's a sign of a connection that perhaps you are not going to be able to mend or to heal. That might be somebody who you cannot help. And that is a sign that you need to be more prudent with your boundaries. Because that person is purposely burdening you with other things, with the guilt trip, in order to get their way. And that is harmful. All right, we're going to move on to our next deck, which is the blessings coming in for you. We have Pig, beware of greed. Which I just said that. Somebody heaping more burdens on top of you for their own gain. And then we have a greed card. Pin, new job, career. So that's where it shows up twice for you. A table, hard work ahead. Dolphin, financial gain usually coming from something you did in the past. And flowers, happiness. Yeah. A lot of this is your switching things up for your own benefit, and you really need to stick with that, probably a little bit more. And you do have those in your sphere who are interrupt that quite a bit. So it's best to reassess boundaries and dealing with your own energy and how you handle situations in a healthy way. So when you do have to step in and mediate or be the mom friend or anything like that, that you are already good to go. You are from a level playing field, good energy. That way when you do help, it's not going to be a devastation to yourself. And also with the pig, beware of greed. New job. Be aware that don't expect too much. Don't over expect. I mean, you're not going to automatically get a new job and become a millionaire and this and that. So expectations, be realistic. Just because you have a new job and it does pay more maybe, or it comes with new benefits, doesn't mean that you need to get overzealous in that area. But it's good. You're on the road for self-improvement, especially financially. That is what's coming in for you, which is great. So the hard work, the teaching, the learning, the transitioning that you're doing is actually going to pay off pretty well. All right, and our last deck I've got is for our outcome or challenge. We're going to see which one they gave you, the outcome or the challenge. We have Harmony. Serenity. Oh boy. Security. Sacred space. Rest. Purification. Reflection. Doorway. Balance. This is the second time you've had balance in your reading. Beauty. Blessings. And adventure. Yeah. I very much want to read this as the outcome for you, not so much the challenge, because this is what you're working up to. You're working up to that space where you are balanced, secured, not only in your energy, but financially as well. And you have the right boundaries, sacred space. You have the right boundaries. So you are fully healed. You are rested. You are purified. You have that knowledge of what you do need to have your own reserves and keep things healthy in interactions with this reflection card. And that opens up to you being very grounded, very balanced. You're not always up and down all the time. Your energies aren't all over the place. You're not scattered because you're going off the whims of other people, and instead you're able to act from a place of alignment. And that means beauty and grace. It means abundance and blessings coming in for you. And that's when the adventure truly does begin, because life becomes fun again. You realize there's more to life than just doing what others want you to. You realize there's more to life than doing the work of healing others. And in a negative way. It means you're also not having to be so immersed in the toxicity of others who would take advantage simply because you have your own boundaries up, which means you're in your own safe space, your sacred space. You have a bubble around you that protects you from that. So when you do go to heal others, it doesn't resonate and wound you to a deep extent anymore, which means you have the capability of doing more, doing extra, and you get to explore new areas simply because you have the capacity to now do so. I like it. And considering I am a pile that has this energy in it, that is fantastic. Alright, my lovelies, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. That's all I have for you. If it resonates, by all means, give me a thumbs up. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.